officer to felicitate him with bouquet. Now I want to hand over this dais to you. This dais is open for you. You please pay total concentration on what he is saying. Definitely it will be very, very lucrative and beneficial to your future. And after that, you have any doubts, you don't hesitate to place before him, because he has lot of patience to clear all your doubts. Only thing you should need to put before him. Otherwise, you question, he doesn't know how to answer that. Thank you.
Firstly, I should thank Mr. B.L. Kumar and Prasad Raghavan. They take a lot of effort to coordinate all these events whenever I come here, all my colleagues who want to do this come here. So thank you very much, sir. I appreciate your efforts. My objective here of being here is to talk a little bit about career and what it takes to be there, and more importantly to understand from you on what is understanding you share in terms of what you want to be, what you want to do in life, and what you think it takes to be there, and what are we doing about it. I was here as a student sometime back. One of my feelings was that I could not get enough perspective of what is the real world, what it takes to be to get into any particular job I want, and even before that, what are the jobs available for me, and what should I look at in terms of the qualifications I have, in terms of the person I am. So I always had that gap in me. I thought I could have had better resources. Probably I should have been more proactive myself, to get there. So every time I'm here in India, I make it a point to be here so that I can fill up that gap as much as I can. About me, I've done my CWA here. I've done my CPA from US and CPA from Singapore. I live in Singapore. It's been 5 years I'm there. I worked in pharmaceuticals, consulting, oil and gas, energy, freight forwarding, last 10-12 years.
Please, sir.
And this session is meant to be interactive, so please stop me wherever you want, throw some ideas. Great. I'm audible without a mic too, isn't it?
Yes, sir. No problem.
No problem. Let's support this way. Just give me a minute. I have enough patience, like Mr. B.L. Kumar said, but we don't have time. So I will suggest wherever you find stuff interesting, relevant for you, please take a note of it. We might move a little fast because we do not have time to cover everything in the world. That might help you remember and carry whatever you feel like practicing. Before we start, we have three girls here who have just finished their CWA, and they have done it in very quick time. Swati, please stand up. Sirisha and Komal. Can we have you through here, so for everybody to see? They're freshly out. They're qualified cost accountants now. Come on. You may go back. So great job. The purpose of this session, I've called them here because we're going to talk more on career and what it takes to be there. So qualified people, semi-qualified ones, and who just started, it's relevant for all of us. Yeah. May I know how many final students are there here? Wow. And foundation? Okay, that's great. You should be in the first benches, huh? I was right here. I had no clue about what I'm doing, but I was still here. I joined foundation. Well, to start with, let's try and understand what do we want in our career and what do we want to do in life. Say 5 years from now, where do we want to see others? Yeah, from you. We're going to start from you. So who's going to take the question first? What do we want to be in 5 years from now? So January 1st, 2016. How do you see yourself? Who will start? You will start? You. Yeah. Please tell us what you want to be 5 years from now. Okay. And? Come on, she answered. She took the first question. Clap for her, please. Most of the people who go ahead in life, you see them visible, are the ones who take the calls first. We all feel shy. I'm sure she also is nervous, and I'm also nervous. But then you go and take the initiative, which is great. Yeah, she wants to be a cost accountant and relaxed. Be at home. Huh?
I just want to be in your position, sir.
My position, okay. Okay, who will take the question next? 5 years from now, where do you see yourself?
From general manager of any of the company. Want to sit as a general manager.
Excellent. Clap for him. Ready to go. That positivity in thinking, vision is what takes us there. Yeah. Let me write this down. Want to be general manager? Finance, general manager, overall?
Overall.
Excellent. Yeah, next. Practicing cost accounting. Okay. Okay. You have to pardon my handwriting, is like that from childhood. Yes? Yeah, please go ahead. You said something. Auditor? Cost auditor. Okay.
The same.
And this side is getting heavier. Sorry? I heard something?
CEO of any MNC.
Okay, excellent. Can we have claps for him, please? Two things good about what he said. He wants to be a CEO of a company. This tells me that we are just not talking about being finance managers or CFOs, you look at getting broader in life. Second thing is he has little more clarity. He says MNCs. Okay. And these questions look, we keep thinking that how much of clarity do we really need to have? Can we just go as it takes? But I've answered this question so many times when I spoke to all my seniors. Sarva Srinivasa sir, Chindu Rao, I don't know if they're still in the faculty. But all these people, whenever I've approached them, they ask me all these questions. Where you want to be, which company, which region, how much turnover. So it's all relevant. Thank you, sir. Yes. Yes.
One of the
Top 10 practicing cost accounting in Hyderabad. Okay. Excellent. Clap for him, please. Okay, we'll have two more answers. One from there. They don't look at each other. Please, yeah. Tell me what you want to be 5 years from now. Yeah, you. What do you want to be?
Being a cost auditor, sir. Cost auditor.
Cost auditor. Okay. Okay. One more. Financial analyst. So you want to be financial analyst or working in that function, you want to grow. Okay. Well, what are the avenues we got? One of the key things to understand, it's like playing football without any goalposts. We don't know, there are no goals on each other side. You keep playing football. Imagine how the game would be. Yeah? Right? So it's like that for all of us. We have to understand, firstly we have to understand what are the avenues we got in life to grow, which is actually endless. We have all the avenues that we think we have. So we have to jot down and see what all are the options we got and then see where we fit in. So first thing is that this list has to be big. When I have probably 50 people, sir? Yeah, 50 other people. This should be big, huge, large. Where I'm driving at is when we want to be cost accountants. One thing I'm talking at this level is because whoever is here, I know that we are all motivated. We all want to be somebody in life. Otherwise, we would not have been here. As simple as that. So when we are here, we want to make the best use of it. We have to see what best we can do. For that, we have to understand the world better, understand the choices we got. So this list has to be big. We are competing with our fellow CAs, fellow MBAs, fellow CPAs. World has gone international, so it's no more India and small companies, medium, large companies. It's not like that. The world has gone global, internet and everything else we're talking about. So being exposed is very, very important. Being able to compete with everybody else is important. So if we are comfortably sitting in our chairs, I have seen some questions. Let me read out, see how many of you got one of those in your head. Are we one of those who is afraid of not being able to speak in a group discussion? Are we one of those who is afraid of not being able to speak good English? One of those who does not participate in team events and competitions even after a lot of persuasion? Who wants to fold your arms and legs and sit in the comfort of your chair with all the discussion happening in this conference room? And one of those who believes sitting in a corner of your house and read and clear the exams and jump into a finance manager's job? Honestly, come on. I'm sure a bunch of us think like that. I used to think like that. One of those who is really nervous about attending interviews? Tell me, how many of you are really nervous about attending interviews? Come on. Whoever has not raised their hands are lying. Great. And are we one of those who mugs up hard to prepare just before an interview? Come on. Who is saying no? Raise their hands. Excellent. Are you one of those who is afraid to open up and communicate his or her own thoughts? Are we one of those who would end up knowing less than 10 senior faculty members of ours after spending over 2 years in this chapter? Yeah? Final students, a lot of final students here. So how many of you know at least 10 of your faculty members and senior members who you are in regular touch and understand, ask them questions? How many of you? 5 seniors? Good. Okay, so these questions are good to reflect upon us. So these are all the very basic things for which answer has to be yes. Has to be a big yes. If we want to be competing and be successful, if we want to serve the purpose on why we are here today, for all the effort we are putting today to become somebody, answer for all these questions has to be yes. And now you might think, how would I not be nervous for an interview, or how would I not be nervous to be in a group discussion? But then if you start exploring, if you start doing a little bit, then you start understanding that it's all easy. And it's all more than being easy or hard, it's all part of being a professional. When you are going to an interview, assume you are taking an interview, for example. Now you are CEO of a company or a CFO of a company. You want to hire a finance manager. A cost accountant walks in. He is probably the topper in India. And then you ask questions. He stutters. He can't communicate what is in his head. How do you feel? Would you hire him? Would you hire him? So it's the same for us. So when we are preparing, we want to be somebody. We want to be a finance manager next 2 years, 3 years. We want to be a CFO next 5 years. We want to be a CEO next 10 years. But understand, we want to do a business. I'm not saying just we want to go out there and just do a job. It could be your own business. And then you talk to your suppliers and customers and dealers and so many other things that you got to get done. So you're not able to be yourself. It's not being professionals. Because when you are approaching a professional, you expect certain things, not just the qualifications. That is anyway granted. When we go, everybody knows we know accounting, we know management accounting, we know cost accounting, we know financial accounting, we know taxation, theory part of it. Of course, I'm sure no one here, including me, can answer tax questions if we have not done tax, in our day-to-day work. But then everybody knows that we have the basic understanding, we have the grip of things, we can pick it up fast. So nobody's interviewing us for that. So when you go to an
interview, your ICWAI is already there. That's why you're there for the interview. That's all ICWAI does. So when you actually go to the interview, you have to show a lot more. You have to show that you are really a professional. You are prepared for that particular job, for that particular interview. Not because that day you went to interview, you mugged up, you are in front of the panel. Because the way you learn, the way you grew up, the way you approach your qualification, the way you groom yourself, the way you have been talking to your seniors about the job, about the approach, is what you are at that table. Let me tell you this, whoever has already taken interviews will know what I'm saying. Nobody can fool somebody who's taken the interview. You can try this, take an interview and understand. Nobody can get through you by fooling. You'll clearly understand that if that person is as really what you want or do not. So there's no point actually mugging up for an interview, showing something else. All that you got to do is go there and be yourself. Talk through what you have learned, what you have not learned. That can only happen if you are really learning properly every day. When we are learning something, get a real perspective. Go into a job, understand what the company is, what they want, what you want, how much you know and communicate. That shows the professionalism, the approach we take, and that's what companies want. If I'm hiring, I look at that. I look at what that person is bringing as his or her approach. That person could be IIM or Harvard graduate, but if they don't really carry themselves well, don't communicate, don't be a good team player, are not good as a group, I am really not interested because I know that he or she cannot deliver. So sitting today, studying ICWAI, how many of us are preparing ourselves each day on the other side of life, which is so important, but for our qualifications. That's the whole point why I'm here today. Just to see where we are and what else we can do. Yeah? Okay. The first time I've written something, I think I'm better when I don't write anything. Okay, what it takes to go there. Okay, let us see. If we want to be successful, want to be a CFO, want to be a general manager, want to own a big business, want to do a cost accounting practice, want to do something else. Maybe some of you can tell me what all it takes as an individual to get to the highest levels in life. Yeah? Okay, maybe I can use a duster. Yeah, please tell me, what does it take for a person to reach, highest levels of his or her life?
Hard work, dedication, confidence,
And
time and money.
Well, we are here, we're talking about what it takes to be there in life, to earn money, to get enough time to do what we want in life. There's an interesting book called Cash Flow Quadrants. How many of you have read? It talks about that. All the business people, rich people, they have more time and more money. All the hardworking chunk has less money and more work. So, yeah, this is a result of, this will be and has been for history, a result of all the discussion that we're having today, the result of your efforts here today, the result of your approach and being confident on getting to ICWAI, and the result of you trying to understand now what it takes to do beyond a job. That you would get the time and money. Yeah, what it takes to be at the top of our life. Yes?
Key role in all activities. Key role in all activities.
Key role in all activities, okay?
Taking advice from seniors.
Excellent.
Advice from seniors. I call this mentoring. Mentors.
Yeah. Creativity. Okay?
Set goal.
Goal setting. Excellent. Okay? What else? What else from the backbenchers, please? Teamwork. Excellent.
Leadership qualities.
Okay.
We need patience.
Patience. Yeah, we need that a lot in life, anyways. Even if we want to just sit at home and do nothing, we need a lot of it. Yes, more. Maybe I have to walk down.
Positive thinking.
Swati, maybe you can help me write that point onto the board. Yes, from the backbenchers, please.
Or I don't. Yes. Please tell me. Everybody was hiding here.
Positive thinking.
Positive. Excellent. Attitude. Attitude. Motivation. What else? What else? Behavior, concentration,
Information.
I'll let you know, don't worry, you don't have to write all that. Information? Information, excellent. Information. Yes. What we want to do, knowing what we want to do, yeah, that's the first thing. Excellent. Yes, you ma'am. Want to say anything? Yes. Proper communication. Communication, excellent. Yeah, you can just write on top. Communication, yeah. I'm feeling good now. Thank you, Swati.
Great. Great. We all need all this. We all need to sum this or to group these. Before I go there, tell me how many of you agree that we all need all this for being successful in life? Who doesn't agree? Who agrees? Excellent. So we all agree. Minorities are always, taken for granted. So we all agree that we need all this, right? I'll give a little bit of structure to this. It's the same thing, but if you group it in a logical sequence, I see 3 or 4 important things that we all need.
Qualifications, knowledge. I'll talk a little more on all this. Experience. Networking. All right.
For us, and I've made this a little more relevant for us. Qualifications. How many of us agree? Excellent. I appreciate all the raised hands who say we need qualifications, and I appreciate even more people who did not raise their hands who think qualifications is not important, because it is really not a must. Nobody is stopped from achieving great success without qualification. There are 100 examples. Bill Gates to Warren Buffett to any name you take. They didn't strive for a particular, but that's on one side. But for us, what is relevant is, of course, finishing our course. If we want to be pursuing, careers as accountants. So qualifications, of course, because my objective of the session is not to talk much about qualification, because I'm talking something beyond that. Doesn't mean qualifications are unimportant. So it's still the top priority. But then we should not get lost in just that. Please understand what I'm saying. That's the whole point why I'm here. So next, knowledge. Raise hands, please. Who agrees? Knowledge. Excellent, we all agree. So we talk about what kind of knowledge? Right. Of course, more knowledge on, specific knowledge on, the field we are in, and what we want to do, right? Goal setting, that's part of it, yes.
Wherever we go, we can understand.
Sorry?
Wherever we go, we need to understand.
Correct. You mentioned a good point actually. You're going to use a key role in all activities, right? Yeah. So that's a very important point, and that's a must for being a professional. When we are reading, when we are studying, when we are going into an interview, or when we are doing something on our own, whoever does it better is somebody who has more knowledge and who takes better choices. But before getting to better choices, we have to have more knowledge on what choices we got, how the world works. How do we get there? For me, when I was studying CWA, I was so strongly into books and mugging and understanding. I didn't use to mug, that was good, but then I was like greatly saying 12 hours a day I study, and do nothing else, and all that stuff. And then I realized that after 3-4 years into the chapter, I could have done more in terms of what I understood, the world, as a whole, the industry per se, the industries in India, and how the business works across. Now, if we are just saying that I know debit, credit, I know balance sheet, P&L, I know management accounting, I can do process costing, that is specific knowledge, which is good and important. But then when we're approaching, that is only being part of the whole thing. Okay, I'll give you a nice example. How many of you have seen goals, in a mission statement in a company? Every company has a mission statement and a values statement. How many of you have seen a few of them? Don't worry, I'm not going to ask you questions on that. So, okay. So for those who have not seen, don't worry, do that. Yeah. So for those who have not seen or not known, every company has a mission, the purpose why they exist. That because something has to be driving the company, any company for that matter. Smaller companies don't end up doing it, that's a different issue. They have their own pluses and minuses. But all standard companies have mission statement and goal statements. In those, how many of you think that we'll say that doing excellent project costing, doing excellent process costing, is one of our mission statements, or part of our values as a main thing. So if you see the whole mission statement and values, where do you think accountants and accountancy stand per se? The one greatest value which has come through over the years because of all this fraud that has come through is integrity and having good accounting practices. But for that, do you see accountants anywhere in the mission statement of a company? We don't. And what I'm trying to say is that there's a lot more to companies and world than accounting. And when we are working in a company, we got to understand all that. We got to understand, get a real perspective. We got to understand how trade works, what are the major economies in the world, what are the largest economies in terms of growth, who are good at what, how is this, services, products, trade working, how is the forest market, how is real estate, how is investments, commodities. Doesn't really, a lot of people ask me, I'm not into that. It doesn't really mean that we are into everything. But it means that we know how the world operates and are being able to connect. And this is being part of professionals. If I'm just sitting across the table giving an interview and I'm just able to talk only this, I can't talk what is Enron, I can't talk what has happened with Satyam. Not that we have to know and mug up a lot, but the gist of it on how, why, what are the control flaws, how the world is moving. Basic understanding is required, it's part of our curriculum, if you ask me. It's not written somewhere, nobody is going to give you questions in the examination, unfortunately so. But then that is very, very required. So knowledge, when I say knowledge, I mean, understand the world as a whole, the business, the trade as a whole.
Global.
Sorry?
Global knowledge required.
Correct. Global knowledge is absolutely required. Agreed? Agreed?
Yes, sir.
Louder, please. Agreed? Yes, sir. Excellent. This is what I was grossly missing. I would still think as of today I would have earned much more than what I earned if I earned anything today than what I would have been if I would have had more knowledge. Because I was only starving to be, qualified, and then starving to be finance manager as soon as I can. And then I say, oh, CFO as soon as I can. When I get there, then I realize, oh, I was only thinking about accounting, this AP, accounts payables, receivables, general ledger, reporting, I was not opening up to the world thought. I was in a well. And now I understand how much bad I did in a lot of interviews. And I'm surprised I could qualify in one of those. But I could have done so much better. I could have come across so much better. Forget about getting selected, not getting selected. As a person we are, as a professional we are, the professional we want to be. We could be so much better. We could feel so much better. Our decisions, our choices will be so much better. So knowledge is that. Please explore. Experience, of course. Experience teaches. But then there's a good saying: that only fools learn out of their own experience, because you end up spending your life doing the mistakes and keep learning. So we want to be smart. You learn from others' experience. Try and see what world. There's so many mistakes, but that we do. We must understand that they've happened for 1,000 years. People have done mistakes and they learn the good ways of doing things. So when you watch, when you listen to seniors, when you go to them, career, choices, what to pick, what choices we got, how to understand, how do we fit in. There are a lot of things which are already made. Somebody did a mistake, they have learned. So when we get exposed and we understand that there's the other side of it. So we learn faster, we grow faster. So experience is good, but strongly suggest that my bit of experience is learning from others a lot. You can learn 1,000 times more by others' experience than your own, in terms of how much you cover.
Experience is two types. Multiple experience, yes, multiple years of working experience, then distinctive experience.
Distinctive experience.
Distinctive experience.
Distinctive. Right, absolutely. You're absolutely right. If you read, I don't know how many of you read books, but if you read great authors, Anthony Robbins, Robin Sharma, all these people say, I'm only good today because of all the read I've done, all the people I've spoken to. I've learned so much through that. I understand there's so many things that have been repeated. So somebody comes to me, I can quickly correlate and see what's the best course of action, why that has happened, what best could have happened. So get exposed, get your experience, of course, and learn from everybody's experience. Keep talking, keep a professional circle where you keep talking, understanding perspectives in various fields. Absolutely, and understand how to think and how to think different. Networking. Okay, can probably few of you tell me what do I mean by networking? Take a guess.
To build a relationship.
Okay. Yeah. Networking is just how many people that we really know, where we can pick up a phone and talk to them in terms of what you want, what they want. They can call you and ask you what they want. At that level, where you really communicate what you try and do something. Networking is not just you call somebody when you need a job. Okay, let me ask, how many people think that networking is knowing people so that we can get a business connection or get a job? And that's part of networking. So we call them as and when required. Hence, how many people think? Well, I used to think like that until a few years back. So none of you think like that here? Okay, that's good. Okay. So networking really is being of use to people around, and through the process people are obviously useful to you. It's not thinking somebody is useful to us. It doesn't work that way. You can't really build a relationship on that ground. And knowing people, knowing faculties, talking to them, they're all senior people. They have so much of experience. A huge experience is like not really counted in terms of value. So how many people are in touch? How many people are not shy to approach them and talk? How many have your own networks in Yahoo or anywhere else in terms of your own professional group that you really make sense out of? Communicate what you're doing, what your strengths are, also understand. So people are busy, and most of them, I've done 5 or 6 assignments today, in 10, 12 years, and every job but for one was by networking. You know, absolutely. Actually, even the fifth one was networking. So I've never got a job by applying, through Yahoo or Naukri and all the search engines. And if you really see, all senior jobs are never random CVs, or 90% of them they are not random CVs. If people are really short, companies have no choice and they pick somebody and take interview and treat. But it's always knowing somebody. Why do you think a lot of us do MBAs in Harvard and ISBs and all this big schools? If you ask people who have done it or senior guys, they'll tell you, you do it more for networking. Because all those guys in 10 years are CFOs and CEOs of companies, So it will be useful for your own company because somebody can pick up a call, you need a supply of something, and you can build a relationship. Whole world works like this. So understand that. I have not understood this until recently. It looks obvious, but we don't get it in our everyday schedule. When we work, when we talk, we don't do that to build that kind of network. There's a book called Never Eat Alone.
Never eat alone. By Keith Razi.
Yeah. So it's an excellent book on networking. It's not a multi-level marketing or anything like that. It is on professional networking. There's nothing wrong with the multi-level marketing as such, but I'm just saying it's not that. It's an excellent book and it's a must read. I've told myself a lot of times why I didn't get this book like 10 years back. So it will give you a perspective of what it means to actually do networking. I've loved the book because it talks about how to be really useful to people, not just big network for the heck of networking so that you need somebody for some time. So please take a copy of it, take it from Amazon if it's not available in India. Few of people told me it's not available in India. So pick it in Amazon, order, spend money. Please feel free to spend money lavishly on books, and discussions. It will help. So that's what I mean by networking. And the last and very important point is what? Can somebody read that? Sorry? Self-improvement. Excellent. Okay, let me ask, how many of us have done some kind of psychometric test to understand our own personality? Or any test for that matter. Where we are good at, how are we good with teams, how are we as individuals, what are our leadership capabilities. How many of us have done it? Okay, imagine we all agree that we all work together, right? In any company, anything that we want to do, even your own practice, consulting, sitting, working from home, you still need to communicate and be around people, right? Agreed? Agreed? Yes. Excellent. So for that, what do we need? First we have to understand how we are, what are we good at. Somebody is good at leading people. A lot of us try to lead forcefully. Oh, I have to lead, I have to be manager, I have to be that and all that. It's really not like that. What is important is to understand where we are good at, where we want to improve. There are few things that we really want to improve, so work on it. There are techniques, there are people, there are associations who can help us. But key thing is to spend time to understand our own self. Where we struggle. You can see in a classroom we are good, we are bad. In a group discussion you can see you're good, you're bad. We can really understand that side of it when we put a little bit of thought each day on where are we struggling, where are we good at. Then that will lead us to right answers on where to improve. Because for me, 80% of my selection of candidate for any job or any assignment I would like to give is, how much that person knows. Okay. So if somebody is not very sure, not able to come through properly, not able to represent him or her, and doesn't know that she or he, is fitting or not fitting into a role or a position, cannot justify, doesn't really make sense. Agreed? Agreed?
Yes.
One of Mr. Krishnan, a faculty downstairs, he was just telling me one of the examples. One guy was hired when he finished his CWA, was a very intelligent guy, but he was struggling. People who were ragging and blah 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 and all that stuff. We all struggle actually. He's not an exception. I have struggled when I just joined because you don't know. So, but then key thing is that understand where we are, how do we fit in a group of people? How do we fit in a group of in a scenario, a business scenario, an employment scenario, and work towards improving wherever you want to. You're here and you want to fit in a different place. Understand what it takes to be there on a personality side and see what training you have to get there. I'm telling you that 90% of your success in life with all the goals will be coming out of that exercise you will do. So if you don't do, you know how much you're missing. Trust me, I see scores of people just going for interview, just taking a job, they get 50,000 rupees, they're excited, they get a job. But you don't really understand where do you actually fit in. So, self-improvement is very, very essential, and we have to spend enough time through it. There are lots and lots and lots of books on self-improvement, self-help. It's not a negative word; it's a very positive word. So, and these for me are part of being cost accountant. It is not just mugging, reading, finishing an exam, and going interview and don't know what to do. It is not that. So please understand the other side of the coin, which is bigger than this side. And see that knowledge, experience, networking, self-improvement. This is not an order of importance. So fifth is, I don't mean self-improvement is the last one. Everything is important there. So how many of you agree that self-improvement is important? Excellent, excellent. I'm glad. Full time, sir? Okay. Like I said, I'm just touching on very high level on the topics which are very, 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 very important. And for all of you, the onus is to drill more in all the things that you think are relevant and spend time, and then you get the knowledge which you want to. It's just a matter of spending time. So what you got to do is understand. If you talk about self-improvement, then go in, talk to somebody, talk to a psychiatrist. Not that something is wrong with us. No? Psychiatrists are not bad. You don't go just when you're ill. If you want to be really successful, if you are talking about people who are graduates, they are just happy with their life, their pain doesn't allow them to think big, they don't want to really go big. We're not talking about those people. We're talking about us who want to be number one in the world. Do we want to be number one in the world? Yes. Okay. So we are talking about us. So we are talking about this stuff. So we want to number one, have clarity. One great saying which I've loved for years is clarity precedes action. So you understand where you are, so drill in, get resources, talk to people, keep in touch, ask questions. Everybody loves answering questions, let me tell you that. The busiest person on the earth, they would love to answer a question. You should make it a point to approach. Alright? Don't really feel shy. How many people have followed the British this TV serial called Britain Got Talent? Okay, I wanted to bring a video clip which was very, very fascinating. But what I can try and do is send that clip to Mr. Kumar. Maybe he can help you out to play that sometime. Or next time if I happen to come and take a session, I'll play that. It will talk about how to take the first step. How everybody in the world is so nervous on starting. They feel they're the biggest fools in the world. They can't take a lead. For example, if somebody here not comfortable coming on stage, imagine you coming now and talking. But taking the first step will explore so much of your own skills that you wouldn't know that you'll get so much of acknowledgement from everybody. So taking the first step is so important. That's why I said I appreciated somebody who just started to the first question. It's so important. You look stupid, don't care. Who cares? So take the first step. Seek clarity. The best way to improve is, there's a good saying. He says, what you're doing is so loud that I can't hear what you're talking. What you're doing is so loud that I can't hear what you're saying. So, to improve your life, do something different than what you're doing. The key thing is schedule your everyday with the things that you want to do. For example, you want to improve knowledge. So what you do? Okay, businesstimes.com. And life has become so much simpler today than it has ever been. Go to Business Times. Go to some other magazines. Subscribe to magazines. Talk to your friends who invest in stocks. get knowledge. Who invest in commodities, get knowledge. Improve knowledge and understand jobs. We talk about finance. What are the avenues you got? Investment banking, business analyst, outsourcing, finance manager, FP&A. Even in regular finance jobs, there are so many accounts payables, accounts receivables, general ledger accounting, reporting, IFRS, Indian GAAP, US GAAP. So many things you can fit yourself in. Investment banking to regular banking, you could go anywhere. But most of us think cost accounting practice or going into doing central excess audit. I'm not saying that is right or wrong. All that I'm saying is we have to think more. You have to add more number of choices and then analyze. Then you get to the right conclusion. Don't limit yourself with this thinking. Like I said, understand that we're competing with CAs who obviously have a little more of visibility because of the articles and they spend a little bit of, not that they really are good or bad, but it's just that they have more opportunity to learn the world better. Even though they don't do anything, you just get exposed a little more. Of course, MBAs, I'm only talking about top MBAs, I'm not talking about any regular MBA. Talk about IIMs or ISBs. The whole rigor is spent on this. How do you improve knowledge? How do you do networking? How do you improve yourself? They spend so much of time on it. So imagine after 1 year or 2 years spending there, they're obviously better than us. So if you are competing with them, you understand that you got to be there, and we have every reason to succeed and be number one than anybody else. I've seen better cost accountants than better IIMs. So we have the skill. All that I'm saying is that you have to understand what else is required to polish and be better. To just imagine that I'm cost accountant, so I'm supreme hero, I can beat anybody is just imagination. Your cost accountant, you have the capability to beat anybody is reality. How to get to the reality is look beyond. Making sense?
Yes.
Making sense?
Yes, sir.
So this is out of experience. I worked in India for some time. I worked in the US. I worked in Singapore, Thailand, Asia Pacific, Europe. If you ask me what I could have really done better when I was studying, was these things. But I was so happy that everybody was praising me through this. I was getting applause, I was finishing it, I was spending so much of time on books. I was so happy that I thought I just arrived in life, I finish and then I'm somewhere. And when I'm actually into the market, then I realized that I have to have all this. And not just into the market. A lot of us are into the market and jobs and business, but we still do the average stuff and wonder why we are not being number one. And then I spoke to a lot of senior guys, report a lot of books, then I understand, oh, I was missing so many things. My network was like 3-4 people. So if I only know those many people, how do I imagine that somebody will give me a CFO job? If I know 10 CEOs, then one of them when they need, they'll say, okay, Kalyan is there, he's good, let me take him. But if I only know 2 CEOs or 3 CEOs, the possibility is obviously 20 or 30%. So I've missed all that. I've learned the hard way. So, and I could have been a better professional. I could have been a better cost accountant. And my whole aspect of being here is see you being much, much better than what I was. See you reflecting the right image for our chapter. If you ask me, MBA has the rigor, we don't have the rigor, so we are like that, I don't agree. Because we are the very aspect of being professionals is being here, being understanding what it takes to be there. Nobody called you for CWA Institute didn't go and pull you out of your home. You came here. It's the same thing. You are getting a qualification which will give you so much of network and circle. So you have to make use of it. Institute gets a cost-com event, then you do it, it's great. If it doesn't give you also, you participate. You talk to the faculty. All the faculty I've approached never said no to me. I was madly behind them from foundation. Foundation student, imagine, I'm freshly out of intermediate. March I finished my inter, June I was in foundation. And I used to talk to final students and faculty saying, how is final, how are the papers, how many hours should I read? All questions as if I'm writing stage 4 exam. But none of them ever ridiculed me at all. So please understand that asking questions is your prerogative. There is a world to answer you. So please get there. Please. So if you are a better professional, you are reflecting better image, you are sitting on an interview and people know that As a part of being cost accountants, you're also being knowledgeable. You also focus on what you are, and you have good network. You know, it's great. I would love to see that, you know, we are good. You know, we are complete as professionals. Well, time is short, so I have to leave some time for question and answers. There are a lot of things that, in terms of techniques and what to do, you know, how to get there. A lot of resources outside, so I suggest you look through them, get resources, talk, and do whatever all that we have discussed. And of course, I will be available. You know, you could write to me anytime. You can certainly expect a response. Yeah, let's move on to the question and answers session before people start sleeping. Yeah, tell me. Q&A time. Are we awake? Come on. You have no questions for me, then I'm happy to leave. How can you? Yes.
If you want to shows the words of program.
Yeah, please feel free. You know, this is the first time. You take the first step. Stutter. Do something. Come on. Give me a good example. Good. This is good. I'm liking it. Yeah.
Very clear and I don't have any questions right now.
Smart. Very smart. Great. Somebody wants to try that? Why don't you come here? Take a question.
From here itself. Minimum qualifications to become a general manager. Minimum qualification to become a general manager.
Okay, honestly, I'll take that from you. Honestly, I belong to a group where I don't think there's a minimum requirement. You know, yeah, I see a lot of Marwadis who are very, very smarter than all the CA, CWA and everything we do and being in the industry. So if you ask me, there are examples where people are general manager without anything, just because of their what. But, so there's no minimum qualification per se. But then, obviously cost account is a great help. Great help. Because people, what happens is that it's harder for you to put yourself in the frame if you're not qualified. If you're qualified, then people look at it. Then you have a chance to prove you're good or bad. Otherwise, you have to go around by your merit and networking to prove the skill. And even networking, when you're qualified, it's easy for people to promote you. That's what qualifications do. So that's good. Yeah, so you had a question how to compete with CS, company secretaries. CS, salary accountants. Why do you want to compete with them? Don't compete with them. Compete with yourself. That's all you got to do. You have to do nothing to compete with CS or IIMs. If we make it a point to cover this and be a better professional, you will obviously be better. Absolutely, my answer is straight. Please don't compete with CS or anybody else. Let's compete with others. Make sense out of our own self. When you're going to interview tomorrow, you don't need a notice. And it's real. I can take a call at 12 o'clock in the night and answer an interview call. I don't need time. I hate getting prepared for an interview, honestly. Because for me, if I have to do a productive job, I keep saying this to people, I'm not here to prove that I can do this job. I'm here to do this job. Did you hear me? Yes. I'm not there to prove that I can do the job. I'm here to do the job. As simple as that. So our preparedness, is all we have to do. Everything will follow. Trust me. Everything will follow. Even if you don't get a job, you'll be okay with it. That's part of being professional. To understand how to take it, not to take everything we get, how to choose. Yeah? Yes, sir.
Get a job abroad, we have is CWA enough or we have to do any other thing?
Like I said, to get a job, you have as many qualifications you have is so much better. It's just easy for people to see, okay, one more, okay, little more education. It will definitely be a spark. Honestly, sparks are very important on CVs. But then, what is important? I see a lot of people I know a person, CA, CWA, CS, MBA, but you know, he's hardly doing anything today. So what is important is to have a whole perspective and do anything you can do. No stopping. You know, always qualifications are good, as many as you got. But what is important is whatever you got, you have this. Focus on that. Very, very important. If you can do something else, also do it. Like don't just keep reading. I'll tell you one example. Mr. Chandurao, I don't know how many of you know him. He was my cost and management accounting faculty. I was talking to him last year, CMA London. I said I want to do because CPAs get cost account also get exemptions. I have to write 3 papers and get it. I didn't want to, but for some reason I said okay, just in Singapore I can sit and write in Singapore. So 3 papers I can just go and write and clear and all that stuff. Then I was talking to him. He said, Kalyan, stop. Don't read the books. You are in the life, so improve there. So there's always a break even the line there where you understand that how much you want to do and how much you want to stop. It's not that you just want to keep with books and qualifications. Of course, it's good to add. If you can be a holistic person and do a lot of things, you can definitely go for it. Yeah? Does that answer your question? Yes.
But do we get jobs with CWA qualifications in US?
Well, even with an IIM, you don't get a job in the US. You have to have, the right network and right kind of requirement. So it's not like you have this qualification, you'll get a job in US or Singapore. You get to the other side. If you are a US company, don't hire somebody. You have your job requirements, how you want it. Like few of those overseas places happen because of the investment banking stuff, where they want some people who are good in that, numbers kind of thing, some logic and all that. So they think that those IIMs or few people, IIT IIMs more so, they think they are more with the numbers, so they are good. Those are only exceptional cases where you hire people from the job market and pay $100,000 in some other country. Otherwise, you need the local understanding, local grip, and there should be a reason for a company to hire you. Cost accountancy per se, honestly, you want to go to the US and really do a job. It's a different world altogether. Why would somebody just speak up with that? No matter what we are, you have to connect in some way, show some expertise, and sell yourself. Get them. And importantly, look at China, look at India. World is looking at us. So being here, we should not look at the world. So understand that things have changed a lot of late. There's huge opportunities here. And think and be creative. The creativity part, somebody said, one of the points is very, very important. Again, business schools, good business schools touch on that a lot. Explore your mind, explore yourself. Think nothing is impossible. The funniest of ideas, I am not covering in detail, but I'll give you an example. Evian. How many of you know Evian? Evian water? Imagine when Evian had an idea of bottling water and selling it. First time in the world. People would have laughed. I would have laughed like hell. What the hell is wrong with this fellow? Who will buy water? I buy water today. I was drinking only a little bit of it because I forgot my mineral water. So explore. People have to make fun. Otherwise, something is wrong. If everybody is happy with what you're doing, something is wrong. So you're doing the only place where you reach if you follow the crowd is exit. So think, explore. So the creativity part somebody said is very, very important. So keep it on. With our qualifications and the thinking, creativity, the CV will look great. That's where you add so much to the CV. And add the new world. Don't send a physical copy of CV or email. Send your email link of your website, which talks about what all you're doing. As a person, be professional. Very, very important. Meaning, contribute to community. Do some work. Bother to be making difference to people who are in need. Bother to be different for your own self. Be happy every day. Bother to be different for the company you're working on, for the business you're doing. All this attitude with knowledge and constant self-improvement will take us somewhere else in life. That's all. That is what is required. Yeah? Yeah, questions? More.
few minutes before you said that don't limit yourself to cost accountant like that. I don't know about others, but I don't have any knowledge that what are the opportunities for the CWAs. So how can I know that what are the jobs available?
Knowing is by gaining knowledge, which is through talking to people.
Is
Like
it
you're
only
asking.
possible by networking or?
It is possible a lot by networking and by improving knowledge by magazines and industry knowledge and talking to senior guys, talking to your own friends who are working in companies. How does that department work? How do they work? How are the opportunities coming up? Macro and micro knowledge at relevant places, depending on your interest and all that, is important. Then you understand, you get a perspective. Sorry?
What are the different possibilities can only be known through networking more?
Right. Yeah, so for example, I didn't have much exposure to investment banking, so when my investment banking friend earns twice as much as I'm earning today, rather than debit credit, why I didn't do investment banking? Because I just had no idea about it. I could be stupid, most of you might be knowing it. But I didn't know that 10 years online, IB is paying me so much more. Because I had no exposure, I didn't bother to talk to somebody who was in investment banking, understand what it takes, what the profession gives us, how the growth is. No, nothing. So I missed that. I'm not saying that I would have taken it necessarily if I have known it. All that I'm saying is I should have known it before. So, answer is keep talking, keep exploring. It's easier to take a paper, understand what you know of today's world, and then talk to seniors. Then you understand, you add, minus, Then you see how to get there, how to improve more, whom to talk. Like I said, in your daily routine, do changes. That will take you a long way. Put down, saying every week I'll talk to one senior. Say every day I'll read something, 10 minutes. Or say every week I'll go through a magazine. And talk to somebody who's doing a job. Talk to your dad, or talk to your mom, talk to everybody in the world. Talk crazy. Understand and improve. That's where improve. Yeah? Yes, questions, please.
Do you have other than CWA qualifications?
I'm a CPA from US and CPA from Singapore. I've done my CPA is a CA in US and chartered accountants in US and chartered accountants in Singapore. And I'm a cost accountant. Yeah. Yes.
How much duration takes to complete the CPA?
How much duration?
Takes to complete the CPA?
It depends. It depends. 6 months.
As of your knowledge.
So you do it in 6 months. Yeah, totally. Easier than we can think. Yeah. After Indian kind of education. Actually, there are two sides of it. Indian education is like, crazy. We read so much and do so little in the real world. A 15-year-old American kid, I would say 8 out of 10 times fares better than a 25-year-old Indian. Because their education system is realistic. They train, somebody reads something, they practice, practice. That's how they do. But we read, I don't know how much I read about everything in accounting and taxation and audit and everything. But how much I do in real world is limited. The knowledge is good, but we should use it in a holistic perspective. Keep it in mind, okay, audit is this, central excess is this, that details we study, keep it at a macro level and try and connect when I do a job. That's where the professionalism part of it comes in. That's where the knowledge set it helps. But to go so much into detail in everything, not really. I agree with that gentleman who said CPA is very, very easy. It's totally compared to ICWAI group, I'll say my effort was equal to one group of cost accounting that I did for finishing the whole CPA. But then I feel better doing that. So and try and pick up courses like that with less effort and more result. But yeah, great. One thing is the rigor, the discipline that this institute brings is fantastic. Once you do it, the confidence you got in terms of the effort. Today, if I look back, the 3.5 years I spent for doing my CWA, I say I'm so disciplined. I can just put so many hours and do what I want, straight like a horse. It's not easy. Americans, I know a lot of American friends of mine who have 6 years, they're still doing the CPA. 7 years, some people have already gave up, saying, oh, too much of effort, I don't want to do it. CPA. CWA, they'll not even look. Their life is too much of a fun for me to do CWA or CA. That's the perspective, because their life is important for them. They say, why will I put so much effort and do nothing else in life? That side of is what we spoke about. I'm not saying those people are completely right and we're completely wrong. There's always a good side and bad side of things, but we have to be more open and do other stuff. Yes. Yes. Questions, please.
I like to be in the production industry. So many of them said that we should require engineering skills to be successful in the production industry. So what are the sectors open for us to get knowledge of engineering skills?
Say that again, sorry.
I like to be in the production industry. So many of the people I asked said that we should require some engineering skills to be successful in production industry, particularly automobile industry. So what are the sectors we can gain from which we can gain the engineering skills?
Engineering skills, it depends again. The production industry is again huge. Manufacturing and all that is huge. Depends on what we want to do there. It's a very good thing. Can we have a loud clap for this guy? Stand up for everybody to see you. So this is the answer to your question. Because he's already talking, he wants to do something, you could always change. It doesn't mean that, oh, I said, I committed, so I have to stick to it. It's not like that. But good thing is that he says production, what skills to acquire, and then I'm telling him that he has to understand what in production, because manufacturing industry is so big. It could be supply chain management, it could be case into a lot of techniques that have been developed, working on something, working on accounting side of some techniques in manufacturing, it could be whatever. So now I'm telling him that you should know more on how manufacturing, what are the manufacturing industries, what are the different fields in which he can go within manufacturing. So next step is he'll start exploring that. And then he'll say then once he's exploring, he also know where he really likes, whether he likes it, doesn't like it, likes, then what he likes it. And then once he knows he likes, then he'll know what techniques, what other things to learn to complement the cost accounting and the operational environment. So, sorry,
Hello? Yes? I'll call you back.
Sorry, repeated calls. I thought it's an emergency or something. Yeah. Yes. So answers your question, right? Yeah. Yes. Yes.
So how much time it took for you to complete your CWA?
3.5 years. Yeah. 3.5 years. Yeah. Many. Any which way, I didn't talk about how to clear exams and all that topic, so I've not covered that. But to answer your question, clearing exam 2 months before the exam date, you should know that you have cleared the exam. That's the only way to clear the exam. Okay? Last 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I was talking to her, right? I was talking to her the same thing before when she was giving exams and all that. For me, preparation, exam clearing exam finishes before you even attempt the exam. So if you have exams 1st January, finish your preparation by November 1st. Close. Only revise. Only revise. Because trust me, you can read a lot of things in the last 4-6 weeks, but how much of that comes to the paper is very limited. It's science that you can only write or reproduce what you have revised, and not what you have read. So please do. I have done so many mistakes with that. So clearing in first attempt is given. There is no second thought about it. I'm not even talking about that. Today we are here, we are performing, we are talking so much about career and progress and how to be number one. So we are not talking about clearing a CWA in second attempt. Don't look down on people who are doing second attempt. They have their own reasons. That's not what I mean. But when we are talking here, we are talking about first. We are not even talking about first. It's a Zoom that we are going to clear. So for that, the key is 8 weeks before the exam, finish the reading. If you not finished the chapter, leave it. A topic, leave it. Start revising. Right? Like I said, I focused a lot of time there. So obviously, I would have cleared in first attempt. So, yeah. Yes. Hello. Are we there? Yes, time is limited, so please make use of it. Yes, somebody from the back benches? Okay, I'll take 3 more questions and then we'll wind up. Yes, please. Yes, who wants to ask a question there? You? Yes, please.
So what's the difference CPA in US and CPA in Singapore?
There's no difference. CPA in US is pretty much valid across the world. A lot of people regard it well. I happen to be in US, so I did CPA US because it's just a local qualification. It's easy for people to know. Seeing CPA Singapore also, I just happen to do it because I'm there. If you ask me, okay, CPA is good enough. I could participate more in the local things with CPA Singapore, CPA chapter and all that. So that's all. Yes. Yes. Questions? 2 more. Can we get some of the quiet people to talk? Yeah. Yes.
Can you explain regarding a business if I want to do? What are the sequential knowledge should be gained and the way you explain it? Having gone to the
Oh, that's. I would take that at a very high level, but then we can talk one-on-one maybe. But business again is understand what business, and then talk about what's applied, how it has worked over years. Understand the history a little bit, and then start our imagination, because we don't want to base on what has happened. We want to think something else. So then we put our brain, get all the crazy ideas down there, and then okay. I see some internal group discussions. Can we just focus on session? Sorry. Just focus on session, please. Yeah. So because I'm going to talk something very interesting and important. When we are talking about possibilities, don't talk about limitations. Ever think about limitations. So when we are talking about some bragging going on behind. Okay, keeps the class interesting. So yeah. So keep it. When we talk about imagination, because I was talking to somebody who wanted to set up a business and all that, we were talking about this, how can I raise $1 million? I only have $500,000. And then we were talking about the same topic. We said what is something else we talk about. So when I'm thinking about what is possible, I'm not thinking about how difficult or easy it is for me. I'm talking about what is the greatest idea. The idea is great, people are ready to buy it. Money, somebody said money. Money is never a problem in the world. Trust me, it's never a problem, it's just the idea. So then we start exploring. So when we're exploring, never talk about limitation. I only have this, my brain is so much, I only have so much exposure. How do I know the world? How do I export? How do I do international business? I'm only in India. That questions will automatically get answered. What is important is explore and get all the ideas out. Because if we're only thinking with all the limitations, everything else is going to, all chain is going to be limited. So for me, sir, if you ask me, that's important. Just explore and think. Yes.
Are not, whether they are not in what ways they are to be important.
So if I rephrase the question, you're saying, what is importance given to the cost accountants, and what way we can gain that? If
they are not given importance, in what ways they should take this importance?
Okay, great. So this question is, are CWS given importance? Otherwise, how can we improve on that? Right? Anybody, for me, person is individual self. CA, CWA is all part of it. If that person has to be given importance, of course, cost accountants or chartered accountants, because the qualifications are good, it takes rigor, that respect is all automatically given.
As a whole, not an individual qualification.
As a whole, as a person.
As a
As a profession, cost accounting is one of the oldest professional bodies. A lot of people dream to be cost accountants. So, no questions asked.
Really?
I'm very glad about you clearing it. I'm very glad I cleared it. In the practical world, the respect is, automatically there, because there's so many qualified cost accountants who are big in industry today. There's so many names you can take. Like how IMs get reputation, because People who cleared IIMs, go into the industry, become big, they understand the rigor, so they hire. The cost accountants when I grow, that's why I'm here today. I know that they're good. People who are clear here are good, they have brains. The only that the grooming is important to the other side of it. So if you ask me how industry is spent, there is a lot of respect. Of course, there's a lot of respect. How to improve on it, to match up to today's world, is something we discuss just now. Yeah? One more question before or after the music behind. Yes. Yes. Please go ahead. You'll feel happy that at least you spoke.
Is there any way to get quick current affairs,
Quick current affairs. Everything is quick these days.
No, so we are not getting time to go to different every day, so that we can have some magazine.
If you talk about stocks, there's thing called moneycontrol.com kind of thing, which is quick, very effective. Business, any business, website will give you all the quick tips in terms of business. Politics, you know more than me. So, it's all quick.
How did you choose your mentors?
I didn't choose them. I got whatever I got. I grabbed whatever I got. And because somebody is bothered to give time, and you talk, so you know the communication is already there, trust is already there. So key is to approach. It's never happened that there are 10 mentors and you choose one. You keep approaching to mentors as many as you can. Of course, you make sense and they make sense. You tag along and keep in touch. So like I said, key thing is to see how we are useful, make sense, and people will always reciprocate.
But someone always needs a role model to follow. So
the best way to learn, established worldwide in learning theories, is by looking at somebody who has already done it. That's the easiest and most effective way to learn. So tagging along with people, and that's where the mentors come into picture, because most of them, particularly at this stage of career, so many people have gone through that so easily. So you'll be surprised with the efficiency which they answer you, because they have gone through like you, but they have seen so many people, so they can answer you like this, and life-changing ones. I can't thank all my mentors enough, even today. Sarva Srinivasan is still taking classes?
No.
Is not?
He is busy with the office.
Okay. A few faculty, maybe you know them today, but they're not continuing, but I can't thank them more. I like smile behind. Yeah. Okay. So unless somebody has any quick question, we will wind up the session. I'll give my email address. Yeah, Kalyan, B for boy, B for boy. I was always in the front benches, just as the person I am, so I always had fascination about what the backbenchers do, and I still do. So that's my email. Feel free to email me. I will be happy to see your emails. I've visited Bangalore and Chennai chapters last year when I was here. I couldn't attend here. Few people, good emails. I liked answering them and all that. So please keep in touch. Anything you think I can do, drop me a line. You can always. You'll definitely hear from me. That's a promise. Yeah. Thank you. All the very best.
Valuable time with us. One thing I want to share with you. He has landed here only yesterday. He had very little time because he has so many family members also here. He used to come once in a year or twice. But even a small gap of time also, he will not forget us. Most of you have a very good experience. How many people who settled in abroad, they are coming and sharing their experiences, they are spending a little time with you. But he had very good concern. I can say this is a service motto for him. His service to our students, how to see them prosper in their future. With that goal only he is working. So really, I appreciate the and also I want to acknowledge my sincere thanks and gratitude on behalf of our institute, particularly on behalf of our students. Thanks a lot.
I forgot. I just have to say this, not to exchange the praise, but realistically, how to do a better job. The simple things. He sent me an email, followed up, saying, give me the write-up. I want to clearly communicate what the message is, so that I get the maximum attendance. And then he bothered to remind you guys last week, and then he bothered to send SMS reminders to everybody. Nobody told him. He just did it on his own with all whatever everybody has things to do in life. That's called approach of being professionals. That's anything you do, small thing, somebody is looking at you, somebody not, it doesn't matter. The approach you bring. I visited Bangalore chapter, Chennai, I've seen the gap. They fairly helped. They did whatever they could, but the extra effort he takes is fascinating. It will really take my interest, or people have spoken to my friends, they really want to come to ICWAI chapter just because of you. Because they know that if they spend their time, he makes the best use of it for all of you. So thank you, sir.
President and Chairman of the Coaching Administration, request him to give a small memento to Mr. D.
I'm here another 15 minutes, so any questions you got one-on-one, you can come talk to me.